What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Rashid Banks, and in today's video we're going to be breaking down a solid trade setup on how I made over $5,500 in under 3 hours, which is unbelievable. So if you guys enjoy content like this, make sure to smash the subscribe button, hit the like button. I'm going to try to make this as simple and easy as possible. That way you guys can replicate these exact setups just like I take them. Now, if you guys are new to trading and don't have an exchange to trade on, I personally use BYBIT. I've used every single platform, and BYBIT is by far my #1 option. I'll leave my referral link down in the description below in case you wanted to use them. And for whatever reason, BYBIT is not available in your country, then I would suggest using BLOFIN. They're a non-KYC exchange, and you can use it practically anywhere in the world. So we're going to be jumping in straight into these charts. It's been an incredibly bullish past week. I mean, we saw Bitcoin just go absolutely crazy. And guys, remember, whatever direction Bitcoin is going, all the alts are going the same direction. Now, in today's trade setup, I actually traded rats again. Now, if you guys saw one of my previous videos, I actually love enjoying rats. Although it's a low market cap coin, it's such an easy structured chart. So these setups are very easy to find on rats specifically. It is a bullshit coin. Guys, just FYI, every single coin is pretty much bullshit. It doesn't matter what the utility is. It doesn't matter how funny it is. All it matters as scalp traders and as day traders, all that matters is what the chart looks like. So the first thing I do every single day is I go through my watch list and I try to find the cleanest possible setups. Again, it doesn't matter what the coin is. It matters what the chart is telling us, right? So we're trading solely on technical analysis. So let's hit the charts. Again, yeah, we traded rats. This was a very clean setup. So I want to just walk you guys through exactly what I saw. So the first thing I do is I go on the daily time frame. And well, on the daily time frame, rats in the past week has broken out pretty much its major downtrend trend line. So we are now at this point only going to be looking for longs because it's more probable that we'll be more successful taking long trades than short trades. There's no reason to take shorts at this point. We broke a major trend. Then what we'll do is we'll look into the 4-hour chart. And on the 4-hour chart, again, you'll see that it's making a higher high, higher low, higher high, and then a higher low. And so at this point, I'll draw out like a little mini trend line just to see what kind of momentum we have here. And it kind of just gives me some perspective. I wouldn't say this is a very solid trend line. We have about 2 touch points. But again, as a trader, I'm very visual. I like to draw out on my chart as much as possible. Just like you can see down here, I drew like a mini trend line here. And as soon as that trend line broke, what happened? It dumped, right? So, trend lines can help a lot. And this dump right here was a 23% dump. Can you imagine catching something like that just from drawing that trend line, right? So, I mean, the trend lines help a lot. The next thing I always use is also my EMA. So the 50-day EMA and the 200-day EMA. Those are the main 2 EMAs that I use. They're the moving averages, if you didn't know, and they're very useful. So in this specific case, what I saw was, again, higher high, higher low, higher high. And again, it bounced on this little support line I have, but it also bounced on the EMA, which is even more important than the trend line because an EMA is very strong. If it bounces on it, it usually then pushes to the upside. So then again, we'll look onto the 1-hour chart and we'll see that it is kind of hovering around that trend line and EMA. And so this is where I'm like, okay, you know what? There could possibly be a setup here. So I draw this trend line from top to bottom and I'm hoping for a breakout. If it breaks above this trend line, it's going to retest it. And if it retests it successfully, then I'm going to take the long. So at this point, I'm pretty much just waiting. Again, we don't want to jump into these trades balls deep, hoping for it to just go up. We don't hope. Never ever do we hope. That is gambling, to be clear. We want to increase our probability as much as possible, follow our set of rules. And in this case, my set of rules was a bounce of EMA, bounce of trend line, bullish daily time frame, and trend line break and retest. So I had about 3 to 4 confirmations right there. That's a high probability setup for me. So I'm willing to take that risk. And in this case, I actually took a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. Meaning if I was to make $5,500, I risked around $1,500. But if you had risked $100, you could possibly make $300, etc., etc. So it doesn't matter how much money I made. It matters how much I'm willing to risk and what the return was actually in that case. So if we just watch this playback very closely, you'll see that it pumps, it goes above the trend line, it bounces on that 1-hour 50-day EMA. And again, when we see a mini trend line, in this case, like a mini trend line, if we see it break the trend line, always wait for the retest, because the retest is where you want to enter. Okay, that's where it's going to give you the confirmation, because it's possible that the trend line will break, but then it just fakes out and scams you, right? So you don't want that to happen. You want it to break out. You want to wait for the pullback. Usually it enters this supply zone right over here. Usually the retest happens around this area. It'll go like this and then go like that, and then it'll go up. So that's what we're hoping for. Again, if this doesn't happen, then we're not going to take the trade, because what could happen is it'll just go down. And obviously at that point, it'll hit our stop loss, and we don't want that to happen. So we're going to wait it out. And that's what we did. We waited and waited. We saw that the trend line was broken, retested, and then entered the supply zone, and then just took off. So this is pretty much where I took the long. I felt very comfortable at this point. I saw the God candle. I saw that it's going to retest the supply zone. The trend line has been broken and retested, and it is safe to say that this is a clean long setup. Very, very simple. And in this case, I did risk a 1 to 3 like I mentioned earlier, and I entered right around the 14 mark, and I had my stop loss right under here. Play this back, we'll see what happens. Blast it off. I had my TP right around 15.35, so I had my stop loss here actually. Right under the supply zone. Yeah, and so that was a solid 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. Now, it actually did continue to pump, but again, we don't want to get too greedy. Now, you're probably asking, Banks, like, how did you even come up with this like TP target? There is a local high over here. We could have targeted the local high. You know, it's possible that it may or may not hit. I don't want to take that risk. I had a feeling that it might have rejected around the 15.4 area, not only because we saw some sort of downfall over here, so it's possible there might be a rejection. But, on the daily time frame, there was also the 200-day EMA around the 15.5 mark. And at the time, I wasn't sure if it's going to break above that daily EMA, because that is a very, very tough breakthrough. Obviously, if it breaks through the 200-day EMA on the daily time frame, this thing's going to Valhalla. And although this took only 3-4 hours to make that much money, I was at the computer all day, and I'm waiting for setups like this. So it's very important that you stay patient and you look for these key setups, you preserve your capital, and you try to be as strategic as possible to increase your probability. That's what we do as traders. We're trying to increase our percentage win rate and be as profitable as possible. Okay, guys? I hope this was clear. I think this was a very, very simple and clean setup, something that you guys can easily replicate and make money just like I do. And if you guys just smash that subscribe button, hit the like button so you guys see more content like this, because I'm going to be breaking these videos down. I'm also going to have live trades coming up soon. When I take them, I'm going to record them live so you guys can see those as well. And I'm going to have a ton of more educational content for you guys to see exactly what I do so that you guys can do the same. I've paid a ton of tuition learning the very, very hard way. And trust me, you don't want to go through what I've gone through. So, if you want to take some shortcuts, you're going to want to subscribe to this channel. Trust me. All right, guys. So that pretty much wraps up today's video. Again, if you guys are new to crypto trading, I suggest using BYBIT. I leave my link down in the description below. There's a huge sign-up bonus that I'd highly suggest you taking advantage of. But with that being said, guys, it's your boy Rashid Banks. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Smash the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.